The most famous NES multi-cart of all time is Action 52, and I'm pretty sure most of you guys know what that cartridge is. But what if I told you that Hulk Hogan endorsed an NES cartridge in 1992 and his endorsement was in form of an infomercial? This was brought to my attention before, but after picking up the Wrestling with Pixels book and learning a bit more about it, I thought this is something that you guys could probably get a kick out of. Hulk Hogan, spokesman for unlicensed garbage. The Maxivision cartridge was an idea from American video entertainment president Richard Frick, and according to the Wrestling with Pixels book, Richard would sub-license games that were mostly developed in Taiwan for this 30-in-1 multi-cart. So you've basically got an unlicensed cartridge filled with games that are also unlicensed. Needless to say, Richard Frick got himself in hot water with Nintendo. Frick believed the NES should be an open market to anyone who wanted to publish games for it, and Nintendo were like, nah mate, I don't think so. So Nintendo would loom over Mr. Frick with a big old lawsuit, and that very lawsuit would put Richard and American Video Entertainment out of business. Before this happened though, Frick came up with an infomercial that would kind of copy the final scenes of the Wizard movie, a gaming competition where only the strongest survive. The interesting thing about this though is the fact that this Maxivision cartridge hadn't even went into production when the game itself was being advertised on TV screens. Richard was going to take orders for the multi-cart and use that money to make the cartridge a reality. So parents and gamers who picked up the phone to buy the Maxivision 30-in-1 cartridge were actually ordering nothing. It's like an early 90s Kickstarter project. Get the money up front and worry about production later on. Hulk Hogan was looking for opportunities outside of wrestling. He was distancing himself from the WWF due to the upcoming steroid trial and looking into other business ventures, and that's how this weird partnership came to be. Hogan got his friend Jimmy Hart involved in production because, you know Hogan, he just likes to get his mates involved in any gigs he can. But then, according to Richard Frick, Jimmy Hart told Coco Beware, Paul Orndorff and the Honky Tonk Man about this business move, and they too wanted in on the action. Frick was already seriously over budget, yet these guys also got involved in the production of this infomercial. The WWF did not allow talent to appear unauthorized on any TV shows or advertisements, so there's a disclaimer at the start of the infomercial saying the guys involved in this mess and the World Game Federation, the make-believe company that Hogan and the wrestlers represent, are not involved with the World Wrestling Federation. It's probably a good thing too, because when folks received their Maxivision cartridges, they were surprised to find out that it only had 15 games instead of 30. Turns out old Richard Frick didn't actually get licenses for some of the games that were featured in the infomercial, and you gotta appreciate the sheer irony of that alone. So when this thing got sent out to gamers, the Hulkster and all involved pretended like it never happened.
Stay tuned for the World Game Federation test of a lifetime. 6 hours of video.
Right, settle in because we're going to watch this game getting shilled out to unsuspecting customers, and we're going to hear Honky Tonk Man and others pretend like they know a thing or two about video games. I played all the games mentioned in this video, by the way, so don't worry, I'll add a little balance to the shilling.
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, to the Maxivision Power Video Challenge presented by the World Game Federation. In a few seconds, you're going to meet some of the most talented players in the country as they compete for the Maxivision Power Video Championship. 6 players making up 3 teams will take this stage and meet the ultimate challenge, but only one team will walk away with the title, and the challenge is right here, the Maxivision electronic game cartridge.
So this is a spray-painted 10-gan cartridge, apparently.
Before we meet the players and start today's challenge, I want you to meet our co-host, the one, the only, Hulk Hogan!
Jesus.
Can you believe it? Now, Hulk, I understand you brought some pretty powerful coaches for these teams, right?
Let me tell you something, Maniac Mike. I've had challenges in my lifetime, but the Maxivision challenge is unbelievable. The coaches are ready. We've got the Honky Tonk Man, brother. We've got Mr. Wonderful. We've got Coco Beware the Birdman. And if you think they're ready, just watch this, big dude.
This is is the honky tonk man of the World Game Federation, and I've got the rock and roll team of Tess and Dathan. And
Man, I'd be so disappointed if I was on the Honky Tonk Man's team. I'd want out ASAP. By the way, it's so weird that these kids are paid actors too. I don't know, there's something about a video game competition with paid child participants that's just strange.
From Maxivision Challenge, and we're ready to take
That little dude on the left looks super serious. He's the winner and he's gonna win it all and steal your girl.
This is the Birdman Coco Beware, right here on the World Game Federation. And I got the best birds in town. And guess what, dudes? We're gonna fly all over Maxivision. Isn't that right, birds? Oh, yeah!
Boy, this is going to be exciting. Before we get started, I want you to meet someone else here in the control tower. Richard Frick, he's with American Video Entertainment.
That's a man who knows he's in deep shit. A man who hopes and prays that overpriced wrestler appearances equals game sales.
He helped develop the Maxivision cartridge here. Richard, welcome here.
great to be here.
All right, let's go down the game floor. Hulk, are you ready?
Ready, Maniac
Okay,
Mike.
release the cartridges. Hulk releases the cartridges. The players are going to take it, go to their game stations. Richard, explaining what you mean. There are 30 games on this one cartridge.
Mike, not just 30 games, 30 great games.
Great games. No, they're not great games. Now, to be fair, the games included in the Maxivision are better than the selection found on Action 52, but that's not saying much either. It's really not that hard to find a game better than Silver Sword, for example.
30 great games like these 30 right
We
here.
want to hear all about it. Save it, Richard, because we first have to introduce our judges. Our judges are a panel of 3 certified public accountants.
Public accountants? You need public accountants to keep track of a video game score? By the way, the scores are completely made up. There's no real competition to speak of. You'll see what I mean in a minute.
They better keep it straight. Let me read the official rules. Our team of accountants will assign each team at the following scores at the end of each round. 50 points for third place, 75 points for second place, and 100 points for first place. At the end of today's show, we'll find out who walks away with the Maxivision Power Video Championship. Now to choose which games we're going to play, since we can't play all 30, Hulk, take it away.
Maniac Mike, I'm here with Juliana, and she's going to press the button to start the game.
All right, it's in your hands, Juliana. Push the button.
It's game number 6!
This round is Venice Beach Volleyball, the coolest game under the hot summer sun. There's miles of clear blue sky, warm sand, gnarly 8-foot waves, and killer tunes in this way rad beach volleyball action game.
My god, clear blue skies, warm sand, killer tunes, a way rad volleyball action game.
Let the games begin.
Maniac Mike, I'm here with a honky tonk man, and he says...
So the Hulkster basically goes to each team captain as the kids play the video game, and it's just basic wrestling speak coming from Coco, Orndorff and Honky Tonk. Absolute drivel, and there's not a thing said about the actual games. It's the easiest payday of all time. I played this god-awful piece of shit and it's terrible, absolutely terrible. There's no killer tunes, no way rad volleyball action. It's as basic as they come, and it just made me want to play Super Spike V-Ball instead, the game that this is totally ripped off from.
Now, Birdman, how high is your team going to fly to beat this Maxivision challenge?
Question, brother, have you ever been to the moon? We had neither, brother, but I'm telling you what, we're on our way all the way up to the moon. Oh my God, what a time. The birds are all cranked up, and we're ready to go. Come on, guys.
You know something? It's intense down here in the hot seat. Back to you, Maniac Mike.
You can feel the energy all the way up here in the tower. Richard Frick, Maxivision, 30 games on one cartridge, 30 games?
Mike, not 30 games, 30 great games.
They aren't great games. Stop lying, you absolute bastard.
30 great games on this one cartridge.
All these games here.
30 games, just like these 30 games right here. Mike, you couldn't even carry that many games in your own arms.
Wait a second, all those games in one car. Do you have to buy a new machine for this?
This is completely compatible with the Nintendo Entertainment System we all know and love very well.
So
no new machine.
The system everyone's got, no new machine to buy?
No new machine at all.
Wow, a breakthrough in modern technology. Piracy.
Got more coming. Let's fight. That's the end of round number 1. Let's go down to the floor. Hulk.
That was the end of round 1, Mike. The energy level's unbelievable. Let's see how our teams did out of the starting gate. How was it, judges?
The score at the end of round 1 is the red team, 100 points.
See what I mean? We don't know if the red team really won because we see minimal game footage. The blue team got robbed, man. I'm cheering for Coco Beware and the blue team.
What's the next game, Juliana?
Game number 18, Mike.
This round is a baby boomer game. The ultimate test in marksmanship challenges you to save Boomer from the world's perils. Terrifying critters will find you racing through cliffs, canyons, and caves to overcome countless enemies and obstacles. And a surprise ending awaits those accomplished few who can complete the game.
The ultimate test in marksmanship. You've probably heard of this one before. It was an unlicensed game developed by Color Dreams, and get this, it wasn't included in the final 15-on-1 cartridge that Richard Frick sent out to gamers who ordered this abomination. There's quite a few Color Dream games that didn't actually get licensed by Frick. He just said they were, and he even had the gall to promote these games in this infomercial. The game's nothing special, by the way, but you can use the NES zapper with it, so at least it adds a bit of variety.
But Mr. Wonderful came in second place. Wonderful team, wonderful plan. Is that your strategy?
Absolutely, Hulkster, you know something?
My god, again, it's the most generic promo speak that you've ever heard in your life. Not even the smallest bit of research was done by these guys, and hey, I don't expect Coco, Hogan, Orndorff and Honky Tonk to sit around a table and play NES for an afternoon to learn what's going on, but provide them with a script or something. Just listen to Coco Beware.
Birds are pumped up! They're pumped up! Pumped up! Pumped up! Pumped up!
All you can say is pumped up over and over again.
In the combat zone, anything can happen. Back to you, Maniac.
You're absolutely right, Hulk. Anything can happen. Richard Frick, Maxivision, 30 games. How do you decide which game you're going to play? How do you select it?
By throwing a fucking dart at your TV.
Mike, this is something that we're very proud of. We have created a menuing system that allows you to select the game very, very quickly. Just cursor around until you find the game you want. Look at the bottom of the screen and it tells you exactly what's going on with the game, and then press the start button.
Holy shit, we're very proud of this. It's called a menu, and when you want to play a game, press the start button. It's absolute genius, trailblazing, cutting-edge technology.
Hulk, let's see what the judges say about this round.
This second round is really crucial. It could affect timing and momentum. How did our teams do, judges?
The scores at the end of
Oh, Coco Beware better pull his finger out.
This round is a pyramid game. Just as the ancient Egyptians built their pyramids stone by stone, you must carefully fit each stone that falls from the sky into this integral design structure. To avoid the hidden dangers will require skillful planning and super reflexes.
Sounds like a great game for round number 3.
Gonna be honest, this game isn't terrible. Of course, it'll just make you want to play Tetris, but it's a pretty unique take on the puzzle genre. No doubt this idea was ripped off from someone else though, so I'm hesitant to praise it too much. But if you like these kind of puzzlers, then yeah, it's not bad.
Hey, Coco Beware, get back there. I'm gonna be a
Coco trying the old remove the controller from the NES trick. At least he's trying to add something to this thing.
I'm glad we're up here and they're down there. It's wild down there. Richard, Maxivision, the 3D graphics. It looks like you can reach in and actually touch the playing figures.
Wait, what?
The 3D graphics. It looks like you can reach in and actually touch the playing figures.
The 3D graphics, it looks like you can reach in and actually touch the playing figures.
not only 3D graphics, but digitized speech. 30 games in one cartridge. Mike, look at these games.
Oh my god, we know.
Games, and they're complete games.
If you bought these individually, they'd cost up to $1,500. Stop fucking lying.
This round is a Tiles of Fate game. Chinese legends spoke of 42 magical tiles with the power to predict the course of the future toward good or evil. Now you must steer the forces of fate to save the world from a certain doom in this non-stop, action-packed challenge of a lifetime.
That's a long-winded way of explaining Mahjong, or as I like to call it, Mei Young.
Team is still in first place. What about it, Mr. Wonderful? What about your strategy?
Oh, strategy, that's right, Huckster. Wonderful.
You don't have a strategy, you absolute shyster.
What a variety of games. They're all so different. They're also incredibly different.
Mike, we have fantasy, adventure, sports action, 3D, puzzle, futuristic games. Something for everybody.
He banged the table with his fist when he said that. He really needs this cartridge that doesn't exist to sell well, or he's in deep trouble. According to the Wrestling with Pixels book, the kids are playing these games on their own dedicated cartridges. They aren't playing the Maxivision 30-in-1 because it wasn't manufactured yet.
This is a single game cartridge. One game, single game
okay.
cartridge. And Mike, this is the 24 megabit game cartridge from
Look at this.
Maxivision. 24 megabits of power.
Oh my god. That, my friends, is fake. Faker than pro wrestling.
So I'm seeing 24 megabits, but you don't have to buy a new machine, right?
You don't have to buy a new machine. It plays on this machine. It unleashes the power that
Okay,
machine
wait a
has in it.
second. The round is over. Hulk, down to you for the judges' decisions.
What a contest! What a challenge! It's nip and tuck, back and forth. Now let's check with our accountants.
The blue and white teams are tied with 325 points. Close behind is the red team with 250 points.
Back to you, maniac!
Boy, this is getting tense now. Boy, Julianne, it's down to you. Go for it.
This round is Wally Bear and the No Gang. Grab your skateboard and get ready to cruise through 5 levels of intense graphics and excellent gameplay. Guide Wally Bear as he says no to drugs. Climb city skyscrapers.
Guide Wally Bear as he says no to drugs. If you have any passing interest in the NES, then you've at least heard of this game, I'm sure. It's one that the Angry Video Game Nerd covered years ago. It's pretty bad, but the concept of the game is absolutely hilarious. Look at this. Taking drugs is stupid, Toby. If someone doesn't like you because you say no, he's not your friend. Thanks, Wally. I didn't know what to do. But I'm having a fucking great time right now. I am off my tits. You gotta try this, Wally. You gotta try it.
Let's take a break here. We gotta take a break. When we come back, we'll have more of the Maxivision Power Video Challenge.
Imagine being able to buy arms.
Check it out. This is an advertisement within the advertisement.
Impossible, right? Now, enter the magical world of Maxivision and get ready for the most exciting cartridge ever.
That looks a bit big, mate. I don't think that's going to fit in your NES.
Maxivision. It's not just another game cartridge. Go ahead, plug it in. Look out.
Whoa, that looks dangerous. Don't do that.
Maxivision. 30 full complete multi-level games with electrifying graphics that look so real that...
Holy moly, the characters are fighting on this kid's chest. I don't know, man. The Maxivision sounds like a health hazard.
All 30 games packed into one Maxivision cartridge. Are you up to the challenge? Can you destroy an invading army of tanks, gunboats, and aircraft bent on taking over your city?
Alright, stop. This game here is named F-15 City War and it sucks. They tried their best to make it look all 3D and stuff, but it's terrible. Ignore and move on.
Become an intergalactic police officer and transport weird wildlife all over the galaxy.
An intergalactic police officer transporting wildlife around the galaxy? No, this game's called Crazy Creatures and it's the most basic match game you've ever played in your life. If this is what being an intergalactic police officer is like, it must be the most boring job in the universe.
Do you have the skill to discover a far side dimension and battle evil warriors for total control of the secret Tamarin crystals?
This is Shockwave. You might have seen Shockwave advertised in Wally Bear and the No Gang during the train levels, but basically it's like a mix between Solomon's Key and Digger T Rock, only it's nowhere near as fun as those two games. Like I said, the overall quality is better than Action 52, but the games are still total piss.
Do you have enough cunning to exterminate a world full of nasty pests?
Pest Terminator is about as appealing as it sounds. You play as this top hat jagoff who walks around pointing his finger while bashing rats, spiders and mosquitoes with his giant hammer. Sounds great, doesn't it? It held my attention for around 3 minutes. That's how much fun I had with Pest Terminator.
Can you solve all 24 stages of mind-blowing bubble puzzles and learn the secret of Atlantis?
Mermaids of Atlantis is another puzzle game. Match the coloured bubbles and win a prize. That prize being a big bag of shame because you spend time playing this game. It's functional, it plays okay, but if you have Mega Man 2 or Castlevania in your collection, you're not going to play Mermaids of Atlantis. Your friends would laugh at you and you'd get bullied into your late 30s.
Want more? You don't need to find more cartridges. Just choose another Maxivision game and become the most radical dude around.
Dudes with Attitude has the most terrifying start screen in the history of video games, and the gameplay is also terrifying. It's terrifyingly dull. Send your little face character into a bucket of paint and you can then break through objects of the same color. It's nauseating stuff.
Save the Earth from enslavement by robots gone out of control.
This one I played longer than I thought I would. It's called Deathbots, and basically you're a dude running around shooting giant robot monsters using a range of items. It's basically Steve Blackman, the video game. It's very janky and it plays horribly, but it held my attention 2 minutes longer than Piss Terminator.
Take on a friend head-to-head for intense, non-stop sports action. All these challenges and more.
This game right here is pathetic, absolutely pathetic. It's simply named Puzzle, and you gotta move the pieces into the right place, which is a very easy thing to do. But to get moves, you have to play rock, paper, scissors against the CPU. I'm not joking, it's rock, paper, scissors on your TV.
Much more await you with this one Maxivision cartridge.
That kid hates his life. Kinda like when your parents got you something for Christmas that you don't want, but you have to act all surprised and act like you're having a good time.
Best of all, you don't have to buy a new game machine because the power's in the cartridge. Over 500
We'll skip this one for now because the actors back in the studio play it in just a moment. This one here though is called Stack 'em, and it's another match 3 game, kinda like Columns, only worse. You can stack numbers in order like 1, 2, 3, or you can stack 3 1s or 3 2s, that kind of thing. Again, it's functional, but just play Columns instead.
spectacular game screens, and that adds up to...
This is Ultimate League Soccer, and just look at it. It's a change from FIFA, I guess, so it's got that going for it, but apart from that, it's dire. It's screaming for someone to just end its life because it's in a constant state of pain and agony.
Thousands of hours of play.
Solitaire. Nothing more, nothing less. Solitaire. Not sure how you could spice this one up anymore, really, but yeah, if you enjoy Solitaire, then grab the Maxivision 30-in-1, or 15-in-1 as it would turn out.
The Maxivision 30 games in one cartridge is yours now for 3 easy payments of only $49.95. Remember, the power's in the cartridge. To order your Maxivision...
That picture, my. Check it out, you could send your cartridge back if it, didn't have all the games advertised, but you gotta pay for shipping. 3 payments of $49.95. That's $146.85 before shipping. Kinda makes you angry that these con men were trying to rip parents off with bad games at an extortionate price. And in a way, I'm glad they went out of business. It's incredible, dudes. The Hulk Hogan seal of approval.
Welcome back to the Maxivision Power Video.
Wait, who's this bozo?
The scores are very, very close.
This is the most intense challenge I've ever seen. Let's check with our accountants.
At the end of round 6, the blue team in the lead with 500. The white and red teams are tied with 425 points apiece.
That's it. Back to you, Maniac Mike.
Now I can't tell where this is going to go. We're ready for the next game. Julianne, it's up to you.
Game number 4, Mike.
This round is a Captain Comic game. The legendary treasures of Osmic have been stolen and hidden somewhere in the lands of Tambi. You must find the tools to overcome treacherous obstacles in your quest as you race through this adventure thriller that may prove to be your ultimate challenge.
Captain Comic didn't make it to the final cartridge, and it's actually one of the games that wasn't completely terrible. It is terrible, it's not completely terrible. The little weapon upgrades were alright, and I liked that the game wasn't linear, but if the game didn't make it to the cartridge, then it doesn't really matter, don't show it.
You know something? The other team tied for second place is Mr. Wonderful's team. If you ever had an ace up your sleeve, you better...
Let's just pretend that these kids aren't paid actors. Imagine trying to play a video game while Paul Orndorff's screaming a promo at Hulk Hogan. You'd be like, guys, fuck's sake, keep it down a bit, would you?
No, we will, baby. Well, you know something? Now the man in first place is Coco Beware. You're soaring with the Eagles, man. Warrior! Oh!
Look at this poor guy. Not only does he have to tolerate Captain Comic, he also has to tolerate Coco Beware shouting like an absolute madman.
You heard it, man. It's intense. Back to you, Maniac Mike.
Look at that energy. I'm glad we're here. Let me tell you, Michael Elson, his name has been in Nintendo Power Magazine. He's a champ.
In what capacity was this guy in Nintendo Power Magazine? Did he submit a score? Did he send a letter in? I'm curious.
Michael, who do you think's going to win? The scores are very close.
I think Coco's team's going to win.
Why is that?
Because he's in the lead right now.
Michael Elson, we got to hear from you, buddy. You've played every game. You've played all 30 games on here. What's your favorite?
Out of all 30 games, I find my favorite has to be Menace Beach, Mike.
Why is that?
Why? Because of the intense sounds, the killer graphics.
I hate this guy. I don't know why, but I don't like him. Mr. 90s McBallbag. Menace Beach is another game you've seen before. It was reskinned as Sunday Funday. It's awful, and the girl you have to save is a right piece of work. She's horrible. Look, rescue me, you little twit. Prove to me you're a real man by getting me out of here. Bitch, you can stay right where you are.
How do you like those 3D graphics?
The 3D graphics are so intense that I feel like I'm actually in the game when I play.
3D graphics so intense that Mr. 90s McBallbag feels like he's in the game when he plays. You're a bad person, and I hope you paid dearly for this.
Juliana, it's all to you.
Alright, they play Menace Beach next, and it's always worth hearing Hulk Hogan's game descriptions.
This round is Menace Beach. When Demon Dan abducts Bunny from the malt shop, it's up to you to save her from his evil clutches. Grab your souped-up skateboard and get ready to confront nasty ninjas, crazy clowns, and schools of vicious piranha fish in this non-stop adventure that pits good against evil.
The game is close. Let's begin. Waiting for the buzzer now, Hulk.
Mr. Wonderful's having a bad time. Looks like Hogan's gonna Hulk up for a second.
As you can see, Mike, it's getting heavy out here.
What do you think? What do you think of the choice of games?
Well, take a look, Mike. There are many different adventure games, many different puzzle games, many different sports games.
The full menu full, right?
This challenges both beginners and experienced players.
So even if you're a beginner, how about if you're an adult?
My dad plays this.
Really?
You dirty land, son of a bitch. Your dad's probably on a 5-year vacation, but it'll be 3 with good behavior.
Push may come to shove around here, dudes. Let's check with our accountant.
At the end of 8 rounds of play, first...
No, we do not want the Honky Tonk Man winning this competition. Coco Beware's letting us down big time.
It's game number 15, Mom!
This round is a game called Shockwave. Enter an undiscovered dimension on the far side of our own reality as Earth scientists battle the evil warriors of Raston for control of the Tamarin crystals. The action is fast and furious and the struggle relentless.
The struggle is relentless, Hulk. It's a struggle to stay awake while playing this game.
The buzzer for the next round. Hulk, take it away.
The competition's really getting tough down here.
Oh, we've got some grapples going on. Something else that Coco Beware's gonna lose at.
Now this all could change because
Crazy Creatures is the final game played by the World Gaming Federation.
This round is a Crazy Creatures game. When you signed on as an intergalactic immigration officer, you figured it was an easy way to make some money.
Whoa, whoa, whoa. An intergalactic immigration officer? That's not what they said earlier on. And why would an intergalactic immigration officer need to herd up animals? Did these animals sneak across the border? Did their documents need checked?
Intense action game.
let the lightning round begin.
Well, Honky Tonk Man, you've rock and rolled right through this Maxivision challenge, but in the lightning round, anything can happen, dude. Are you gonna play the same old tune?
It's no holds barred, it's the lightning round. Anything goes, and
whatever, just play the game.
Honky Tonk may be a little overconfident.
Stop everything, stop. It's all down to the judges. It's down to you for the...
Whoa, watch you don't fall there, mate.
Announce the winner.
He looks so afraid now. What's wrong with this guy?
It's down to
And
the
the
judges.
winners of the lightning round and the games are Mr. Wonderful and the white team with 1,150 points.
No, Paul Orndorff wins. At least it wasn't the Honky Tonk Man. All's well that ends well, I guess. And that's it over. The NES multi-cart that Hulk Hogan shilled. The game shipped out with half the games missing. Nintendo ended up destroying Mr. Frick in a lawsuit. American Video Entertainment ceased operations. And Hollywood Hogan didn't speak a word of this whole thing ever again. Can't say I blame him though. Someone out there though phoned that number and ordered one of these cartridges, so let me know in the comments if you got ripped off by this infomercial. I'd love to hear from folks who actually bought this game. In the end, we're left with an oddity in the history of both pro wrestling and the Nintendo Entertainment System, two worlds colliding to deliver absolute dog shit to their fan bases. Hogan would go on to endorse more items in the future, but that's a story for another video. For those curious, here are the other games that were advertised on the 30-in-1 cartridge. Some of these didn't make the final cut, but what the hell, you might as well see the other nonsense they were thinking of selling. Blackjack, just like Solitaire, it's nothing but the card game. Death Race should be called drunk driving because that's what it feels like when trying to control your little blue car. I had no idea what I needed to do and I had no desire to learn either. Rad Racket Tennis is the only tennis game where a rat runs onto the court. You can squash the rat with a well-aimed shot and that's about as fun as it gets. Chiller, you've maybe heard of Chiller before, but it's a very basic and very standard light gun game. Maybe a little too violent for an official Nintendo seal of approval. It's also absolutely terrible. King Neptune Adventure sees you control King Neptune and his quest to find a magical orb or something, but instead someone keeps sending money into the sea and King Neptune's like, sweet free cash. Moon Ranger's a standard side-scrolling shoot-'em-up that's set in space. You control this guy here, the Moon Ranger, and you fly around space shooting asteroids and little green aliens. There's a few different weapons, but that doesn't save the game from being really bad. The Prodicus conflict is the early 90s version of Starfield. I had no idea what I was supposed to do. It looks like it's all menu-based, and I gave up after 2 minutes. Robo-Demon sees you command this little guy in a jetpack, and after destroying a boss, it turns into a side-scrolling action game. I use the term action very lightly here. And finally, in Secret Scout, you play as this little dumbass who bothers harmless tribes. The tribe just wants you to leave, but you're going to kick your way to victory because I don't know. But there you go, you've been warned. Don't let the bright lights of Hulkamania fool you, and don't let this 90s dork fool you either. Avoid the Maxivision multi-cart at all costs. Thanks for watching guys, and please take care.